இதில் ஒன்றிய அரசு கவனம் கொண்டு தமிழகத்திற்கு
He's just finishing.
करें शुरू करें आप your आपके रिकॉर्ड में
Sir, I stand in support of the Conservation Amendment Bill 2022. Sir, the objectives of the bill as spelled out to mandate use of non-fossil sources, including green hydrogen, green ammonia, biomass, establish carbon markets, bring large residential buildings within the fold of the energy conservation regime, and enhance the scope of energy conservation. Sir, for long, industry has taken the global commons to be a dumping ground for carbon emissions, and this bill depicts an attitudinal shift. It is aimed at promoting energy conservation and make an end to the right that was nursed for long to pollute. This is the bill, as a matter of fact, is an extension of polluter to pay principle, and it combines all the three responses that we must adopt for energy conservation, that is use of market forces, use of regulator framework, and also extra focus on renewable energy. Sir, all the three have to work together if we have to achieve the targets. This bill is also in the nature of treaty of commitment to treaty obligations. Sir, while market forces use of market framework is a welcome step, but much depends on how this framework is made to work. If this framework does not work as expected, then this cannot have the desired results. Whatever is done today is done a little late, because in the rest of the world, this use of market framework have started much before. It was immediately after Earth Summit of 1972, Brazil Summit. But if we have started today, and if we want to employ market forces, market framework to control carbon emissions, it's a welcome step. And we must expect that whatever framework is provided under this law, the bill, that is made to work efficiently, and we are able to stick to or achieve the targets. So, but at the same time, we should not bid goodbye to a regulatory framework. Both should work together. And last of all, we must have extra focus, as I said, that on renewable energy. And we must encourage use of renewable energy so that we can have less and less emissions, and we can have within limits emissions. And when we just make mention of renewable energy, but what is kind of depressing is that government has not taken adequate steps to encourage use of renewable energy, and we don't find government has not incentivized it. It has not provided extra incentives for all those who use energy to fall back on or to make use of the renewable energy. Sir, in lower Himalayas and in Jammu Kashmir particularly, it is very important to incentivize use of solar energy and renewable energy, because we know that forests constitute carbon sinks. Apart from seas or oceans, forests constitute carbon sinks, and if the depleting forest line is a cause of concern for everyone. Because if we don't have forests, or forests are put to danger, then an important carbon sink that is available to us, that absorbs a part of the emissions that we make, is not available. So I would request Honorable Minister to provide incentives in Jammu and Kashmir, so that, and not only in Jammu and Kashmir, but all the lower Himalayas, so that forest cover that is available to the country is saved. And The emissions that are otherwise a cause of concern, not only for in our country, but to entire humankind, those carbon emissions are reduced and are not, and do not play a role in climate change and ozone depletion. And at the same time, while taking every step to make the market framework that is sought to be employed a success, the industry should not be given a free hand. It should not, because only market framework independent of a regulatory framework is not going to get the desired results. We cannot give industry a free hand in making emissions only because they pay for it. Carbon trading is okay, but carbon trading has failed elsewhere because the only focus was placed on carbon trading. Carbon trading has to work side by side with the regulatory framework. We should not downplay the importance of regulatory framework where we put cap on the emissions, carbon emissions, then only we will be able to achieve whatever objectives are spelled out in this bill. And at the same time, as I requested, that we must place extra focus on use of renewable energy so that we encourage renewable energy. In absence of that, the objective of the bill may not be achieved.
Right.
Thank you.
Shri M.